I'm Brittany Roger. You're watching The Drawing Zoo, and today we're talking about colors in chameleons. Today is all about color. First, we will do a warm-up, then meet the animal, then draw the animal. I will be using colored pencils, but there are a lot of other materials you can use in this activity. If you remember from our first chameleon video, we always start with the big shapes first, even in the warm-up. So first, I'm drawing a triangle. We have 3 corners of the triangle. We also have 3 primary colors. Guess where they're going to go?
In the corners!
Yep. This time, it does not matter which color goes in which corner. I always like to start with yellow. I don't know why. In this exercise, coloring in the lines is not very important, but it can be a good extra challenge. If this activity is too easy for you, you can also practice pushing down hard and pushing down lightly to see how that changes the color. We also have 3 secondary colors that are going to go in between the primary colors. I'll show you how. Let's take blue. I want to color the line that connects blue to yellow. I'm making this line nice and thick. I'm doing the same, connecting blue to the red. Then I repeat the same steps for the color yellow. This is where it gets really fun.
It's making green!
Yes! Green is a secondary color because it's made up of the 2 primary colors, blue and yellow. Let's keep going. What do you predict is going to happen when we color the red over these other 2 colors?
They're going to mix!
They'll make more secondary colors.
Yes! Red and yellow made orange, and red and blue made purple. Ta-da! If you found color mixing fun, let's try complementary colors. They are across from each other in our triangle. I like to color my complementary colors off to the side. I just make a big blob. I take turns switching back and forth between green and red right on top of each other.
What is it? It made brown!
That's right. Opposite colors make different types of brown. Let's keep trying.
The opposite of orange is blue.
And the opposite of purple is yellow.
And if you're feeling really wild, try mixing all the colors together and see what happens. And if you're still feeling really curious about color, you can try mixing analogous colors. For example, mixing blue with green to make blue-green. Other analogous colors can be red-orange, yellow-orange, yellow-green, red-purple, and blue-purple. Good job! Woohoo! That was a lot of color. That was a great warm-up. Now let's meet the animal. Don't forget to like and subscribe to be the first to know when we have new videos. This is Cedric. He is my veiled chameleon. You may notice he reminds you a little bit of Emerald.
Yeah! He does!
So males look a little different than the females. They have usually a much larger crest on their head, larger spines on their back, and then the easiest way to tell is they have this little extra knuckle thing on the back of their foot. Isn't that crazy cool?
I need a closer look at that.
Whoa!
But Cedric is not as masculine as a lot of the other males. His crest and his spines are really not as large as most boy chameleons. So he's a little on the feminine side, and that is something that makes him really unique and beautiful. Do you remember what type of habitat the veiled chameleon comes from? Desert, ocean, grassland, or rainforest?
The rainforest!
The rainforest.
Yes, very good. You may remember that most chameleons come from the rainforests of Madagascar, but the veiled chameleon comes from a slightly drier forest in Yemen. Veiled chameleons are also one of the non-native or invasive species living in Florida right now.
Oh no!
According to the National Geographic, it's not clear if they've impacted or displaced any native species, so they're definitely low on the priority list compared to other animals like pythons.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
All these invasive species in Florida are largely due to the fact that that is where animals get shipped to from other countries, and if they escape or get lost or get set free, they're already in a climate very similar to where they came from, making it easy for them to adapt. Florida has the most invasive reptiles in the whole world. I'll throw a link to that National Geographic video I watched in the description. It was a good watch. I am always learning. You may be noticing that he's been sitting on my hand for a while and he is not changing to match my hand or my shirt or the poster behind us. Although it's really fun to make movies and shows and books about chameleons changing to match their environment, chameleons actually change color to show their emotions or their temperature.
Oh.
It's similar to how somebody might blush if they're upset or embarrassed, or get pale with blue lips if they're too cold.
So which colors mean which feelings?
I've noticed my chameleons get more yellow when they're hot, get brown when they're cold, and bright green when they're happy. All of these colors still allow them to camouflage.
Oh, because yellow, green, and brown are all still in the environment.
One of the reasons they camouflage so well is the tiny combinations of colors and patterns in their scales.
I can't wait to draw that.
Males do something called a dominance display. It's if they get together and they turn very contrasted colors and they puff up and open their mouths. They're essentially showing each other how amazing and tough they are. I don't have any other male chameleons to anger Cedric with, so I usually only see those high contrasted cranky colors if I do something he's not in the mood for, like pick him up. I always respect it when Cedric does not want to be held. Now we're ready to draw the animal. Heads up! I'm going to start my drawing very lightly so that I can control my color mixing better later. Just like we practiced in our other videos, I am going to start with the biggest shape first, which is
The body!
Body!
yes, very good! I'm doing an oval for the body, and I'm leaving enough space around it to do the other body parts, like the head. I like to use a bendy triangle for the head. The tail can be so many different shapes because it is prehensile.
I remember. That means the tail can wrap around and grab things.
That's right! You remember from our first chameleon video. Here, I am starting it with a swirl that kind of looks like the letter B. Now let's take a look at those arms. They are not little rectangles that stick straight out. They're actually into two pieces because of the elbow. I like to draw them as if they are two arrows pointing at each other. And boy howdy do I love drawing those zygodactyl feet. I pretend I'm drawing little hearts.
Aw.
Notice we're now getting into the smaller body parts. Here, I'm drawing
Tiny triangles.
That's right, tiny triangles for the spikes. And right in the top middle of the head, I draw a circle for his eye. Can't forget the mouth.
What about those?
That's right, he has little spikes going down his chin. Ta-da! Now that we've put together the basic shapes, we can start our color. Woohoo! I'm starting with the biggest color we see. What color do you see the most when you look at Cedric?
Green?
That's right, green. So I am going to fill in my whole chameleon lightly with the color green. I have a green colored pencil for this, but if you don't have one, you know what 2 colored pencils you can use to make a green chameleon.
Yellow and blue?
Yep, yellow and blue. Remember, our goal today is to play with how colors mix together. Coloring inside the lines is a bonus. Next, I go in with some orange. I want to draw those up and down blobby stripes that we see in the middle of his body. Pop quiz! Orange and green are both what type of color?
Secondary.
That's right, secondary colors. Very good. Notice his little chin spikes are also orange. I also start outlining his eye. Because the brightness of their colors can change so much, there are many different right ways to color in a chameleon. I'm coloring my picture of Cedric based on how he looks here, but you can color him however you like. Next, I'm going in with that blue. Blue is a what type of color?
Primary.
Primary, very good. Because no colors mix together that equal blue. Oh, look at that blue stripe he has down his crest. You may have noticed that Cedric's green has a lot of blue in it. So now I am coloring over my green with the blue. Notice I leave a gap in the middle of the green to show that it's lighter, like here. Now we're getting into the smaller colors. You may have noticed Cedric has some polka dots. While I have the blue, I'm going to go over some of my favorite parts of the outline and make it contrast against the paper. Contrast is when something stands out or pops. Now I am finally going back in with that green and coloring darker. Notice how my chameleon is fading from blue-green to green. And I'm adding a couple more blue spots. Here's a color we haven't touched yet, that brownish purple. Check out how I accomplished that color.
You're mixing it.
That's right, I'm going over the blue with red. And my final step is to go back over my areas that are too light green by pressing down harder, making it a darker green. Remember, this helps our drawing pop. Good job! That was a lot of work, but man, is this a beautiful drawing. Let's see how other people did it. Thanks for watching. I hope you had a great time learning about how chameleons use color. Subscribe and like this video. Veiled chameleons are also one of the many non-native, Stop it, Henry. I'm trying to record.